My name is ASHAWINI Pandeey, and to give a brief background about myself, I did engineering from NIT Durgapur. I am 2006 pass out, and this was my 5th attempt. And previously I got selected into IRTS in 2011 in my first attempt. After that I got selected into 2013 in Revenue Service Income Tax, and finally in this attempt I was able to get into IAS. And in all attempts, earlier I had geography and PUBAD, and after that, after 2013, I was only having PUBAD. Dynamic. Sorry? Pattern. And? Okay, anything else? Okay. What is it called? Hidden syllabus. Anything else? Study plan. Approach. Anything else? Answer writing. Resource, okay. That we need to ask UPSC. Anything else? Anything else? Kunchi Commission. That we will cover in answer writing or somewhere. Okay. First of all, how I prepared. I started in 2011. At that time, I had geography and PUBAD both optional. I did not give too much time on PUBAD. Just went through some of the coaching notes, and luckily I got 314 marks. But at that time, it was an average mark, so I got selected because of that. After that, I thought PUBAD is an easy subject. I got 314 by doing this much. So next year I will be able to fetch more marks. So I went through various books, Mohit Bhattacharya, IGNOU, reports, ARC report, Sarkariya Commission, Punchi Commission, did all that. Didn't get good marks, got 212. Didn't got selected. Next year I did the same thing again. I went through all the books, read them again and again, went through all my notes, went through all the coaching notes that I was following, went through reports, went through newspaper, prepared notes from there, did all that, got 158 marks. And but at that time also I got 258 rank. So one thing I want to emphasize here, so you need not depend only on PUBAD. You need to focus on GS also. Since all of you, as compared to other optionals, you know that you are not getting good marks in PUBAD. So you need to focus on your GS also. There are many people this year who have got more than 400 marks. So your target should be 420 plus in GS. If you are able to get that, doesn't matter how much you got, even if you get 200, 170, 180 in PUBAD, you will be able to make into the list. That is for sure. So you need to focus on your GS also. You cannot compromise on that. Focus on your GS and make sure that you are getting 420 plus marks in GS. Okay. Then if you are going to get good marks in PUBAD, you will be able to get a very good rank. So focus on your PUBAD, since you are privy to the information that optional PUBAD is not getting good marks. So you cannot compromise on that. Then after that I thought I got 158 marks. I will work hard. I will do this. All of you, what you are doing, reports, consulting everybody, what should I do? I'm not getting marks. I have done this, I have done that. But again I got 198 marks. But that time I realized that only I am getting 198 and many people are getting less marks. But there are still people who are getting 280 plus marks. And because of that 280 plus marks, they are able to get into top 100 ranks. So my target at that time was to get into top 100 rank, And I thought that if there are few people, only handful of people are able to do it, then I should also be able to do it. And I need to revisit my strategy. I need to revisit all my, whatever I have done. I need to revisit my resource. And I need to come up with a different strategy so as to improve my marks. So all of you, like you, I was also sitting there. I got 198 last year. So I thought I need to change something. I need to make a change somewhere so as to ensure that I get into top 100. So that's where I started. So what I did, resources, you all know. I will not go much into resources. There is Mohit Bhattacharya. There are many books on by Mohit Bhattacharya. New Horizon, Social Theory, then new issues in public administration. 3-4 books are there. New Horizon you need to read again and again and again so as to develop your understanding, and that will also help you in understanding the demand of the question. Apart from that, I went through IGNU, Administrative Thinkers, NPM, NPA, Good Governance, everything from IGNU. I went through ARC reports. I had the privilege of preparing PABAT for 5 years, so I have gone through ARC reports, almost all of them, prepared notes from them, went through various summaries. Then Punchi Commission, Sarkaria Commission, National Commission on Review of Working of Constitution, and Finance Commission. All those reports you need to go through. Economic Survey, all those things you need to go through. That will help you in your GS paper 2, GS paper 3. So it helps you comprehensively. It is not that you are only preparing for PABAT. It is a comprehensive preparation, integrated preparation. So it is helping you in all the aspects of your, it is helping in essay also. So don't get bogged down by just the dimension. ARC report, you need to be selective now because it is very, if you are preparing for this mains, you cannot afford to go through all of them. So, and moreover, ARC reports have become little old now. So they are more than 10 years old. So some of the issues have changed, some of the issues are dealt with, some of the reforms are already been done by the government. So depending on that, you need to select and go through them. But a report on finance, report on personal, then local, rural, district administration, all those things you need to go through. If not, then summary you can find from any good coaching institute and go through that. If you think you are not able to understand the issue, go into the report and find out. Other than that, my coaching notes, I went through Lukman sir's notes this year, and I went through paper 1, I went through Wajiram notes because I have done that many times. In addition to that, this year I also went through Lukman sir's notes. I also went through Aribom book. That's all, I think. And basic books you all know, right? Other than resources, okay. GS and public administration, they are integrated. It will, both will, if you are reading something in newspaper, which is, one thing you need to do is know your syllabus. And that is true for both GS and PABAT. What it will do, whenever you are reading a newspaper and you come across any data, you come across any example, you can come across any case study, at that time only what I used to do is think about where all I can use it, whether it is GS or whether it is PABAT. Where can I use this information? And that will help you in segregating your information. So that will help you in reproducing it in the exam. One of the most important thing is, we all know that what is public administration. Almost all of us know what are the various points, what are the various things we need to write. But most of the time we miss on the demand of the question. So demand of the question, understanding the demand of the question is very important. That will help you in understand. If you are reading again and again, one thing or more, let me make it more structured. Revision, whatever books you have written, if that is a standard book, if that is a standard report, if that is a standard ARC summary, and every time you are reading it, think about where all you can use that information. If you are reading Mohit Bhattacharya and if there is a statement, you just add discuss, critically examine in front of that and think what all you can write, what all you will write. How will you integrate your current information, GS information, newspaper information from in that question. So that for revision, it is very important to revise same resource again and again. That will help you in understanding the question. That will help you in increasing your conceptual clarity. That way you will be better able to handle your answer writing in the exam. Second is understanding the demand of the question. For that you need to have conceptual clarity. Whenever you are reading Mohit Bhattacharya or IGNU or any other notes or whatever you are reading, if you are not able to understand, don't just read it and go forward. Think about it. What exactly it is trying to say. Make linkage of various thinkers, make linkage of various concepts, how it is connected. For example, if there is a statement about NPM, why is that statement given? Before that also you need to understand why did NPM came, how did it came. All these information is given in the standard book. So you need to understand why NPM came, why NPA came, why did it fail, what all thinkers said about that time, how their stand changed after some time, why did NPS came. So all these understanding you need to develop, and that is available in standard resources, coaching, whatever you are doing. That will help you in understanding the demand of the question. Then make notes. Notes for whatever you are understanding. Don't just copy paste from your standard book. Try to understand and then write it in your own word. That will help you in improving your understanding also. Moreover, there is also value addition. I want to emphasize on this part because I focused on this a lot this time. What is value addition? There are 10, 20 compulsory question and then 18 optional question. Okay. So in total you are writing 38 questions. If you are able to add value in your answer and able to fetch 1 mark, half mark in every question, you will be easily able to improve 20, 30 marks in your answer. And that will leave a good impression on the examiner also. So how do you add value? For adding value to your answer, you need to have a better understanding. You need to have your notes prepared and you need to add on your notes and keep revising them again and again. What I mean by that, for example, you are reading ARC. In first few attempts I read about all the ARCs, but I was not able to reproduce that knowledge into the examination. So how will you reproduce that knowledge into the examination is, if you make short notes and make your own notes 15, 20, 30, 40 pages and keep revising them again and again, keep thinking about how will you use that information in examination, in what kind of questions you can use that information. For example, if you are going through ARC district administration, there is an example that Center of Good Governance has done a study that shows that in DM in Assam has to head 42 or 47 committees in a month. Okay, so that shows that how overburdened district administration is. This is a very small example, you can easily remember it, but if you have written it somewhere, you can show how it is increasing into the ineffectiveness of the Indian administration, how it is increasing the ineffectiveness of the district administration. Okay. Similarly, in ARC there is on e-governance there is example of e-registry in Muzaffarnagar. So you need to remember that data, how much time it has reduced, how much efficiency it has increased. So that will help. That example can be used in e-governance. That example can be used in reforms. So that way you need to think about them when you are reading it. Then only you will be able to reproduce it in your exam, and that will help you in increasing the value and fetching more marks. For example, I was going through a Yojana this time, latest Yojana. There are many examples that you can pick. There is an article on maximum governance reaching out through e-governance. What is e-governance it is giving? So you need to write down this definition. It is exact definition that e-governance you can write in anywhere, whether it is GS or PAVAD. Similarly, it is giving how much effective your e-governance current schemes are, what government is trying to do. So these examples you can pick and write it in your separate note or integrate it in your PAVAD notes. That will help you in remembering it, and keep remembering it, keep revising it, keep using in your test series answers or answer writing when you are writing at home. That will ensure that you will be unconsciously able to use that information in your examination, and that will add value to your answer. Similarly, there is an article on how private sector can be used in skill development. So how PPP can be effective in certain sectors. It can be example of that also. So value addition. Next thing is, any doubt about value addition? So what I did was I made a notes of around 30 pages. In that I wrote various case studies, whether I have found it from ARC, whether I have found it from newspaper, whether I have found it from internet. That included international best practices, whether any policy of food grains distribution in Mexico, or Bolsia Familia, that program, or how effective judicial appointment is in UK. Those kind of steps, those kind of things I have noted down. Then you can note down of best practices in India, how healthcare system in Tamil Nadu is better, how it is distributing medicine, so how it can be replicated in other parts of India. Then value addition can also be statements of various thinkers, whatever Peter Drucker has said about Indian administration, or whatever Alvin Toffler has said about bureaucracy is adhocracy. So those statements you need to write in that notes and keep revising it and keep using in whenever you are writing answer at home, whenever you are writing answer in test series. That will make sure that you will be able to reproduce that information in examination. In addition to that, you can pick in diagrams from various reports. For example, last year there was Kiran Agarwal committee. It has a diagram on how ethics, integrity and efficiency, effectiveness of bureaucracy can be improved by value education. So those diagrams from various reports, diagrams from various for Yojana from Kurukshetra. This time also there is a diagram in Yojana how health delivery system can be there. So those standard diagrams you need to copy in your notebook and keep revising them. In addition to that, case studies I have told, statement I have told, diagrams I have told. Then data also you can use, how many police personnel should be there in population, what is the recommendation of UN, how much there are in India, how much there are in various states. So that you can use in police reform. So these kinds of information. Similarly, last year there was a data judicial, how many judges per population, what is the word standard, what is the UN recommendation, how much India is having. So these data will help you in improving, adding value to your answer. Such type of things you need to write, and you need to limit yourself also. Often we get into the habit to write everything. Then you cannot remember it, then you cannot reproduce it. So you need to, based on your capability, you need to write examples, and whenever you are writing examples, think about what areas I can use, and then use it in your test series. That will add value to your answer. Next thing, test series. I would suggest that, because earlier I did not join any test series, earlier I did not write any answer, but this time I was very serious about test series. So I used to write all the tests with full preparation, whether it is topic wise or whether it is a full test. So I used to write the test with almost all sincerity. So that will help you in writing answers in exam conditions. That has two advantages. One advantage is, you all know their questions are becoming very vague. So often you do not know what exactly the question is trying to ask. That will be repeated in exam also. So you need to get practice, or you need to evolve yourself in such situations. If there is an unknown question, if there is a question which you do not know about, but then also in exam you need to write about it. So you need to become creative. You need to utilize whatever information you have regarding that, and whatever knowledge you have, to best use that information, best use that knowledge to write a decent answer. So you need to practice about dynamic nature also, dynamic questions also. So best thing is to, if you are writing answer at home, you will think, oh, I do not know, I will write it, I will read about it, I will write it later. But if you are going into test series, be serious and write those answers also. Do not miss on those. Do not become like, if I know this answer, I will write more on this. Attempt like you are attempting in your real examination. That will help in practicing in that simulated condition also. So that way you will be able to address unknown areas. Similarly, what I did this time was made answer framework. because all of us are not having a lot of time. We need to focus on essay, GS, ethics, and all those things. So public administration, what I did, I used to pick a question from market, question from net, and make framework about the question. For example, if there is a question, what exact, give 1 or 2 minutes and make a framework. Even if you are not writing an answer, get into the habit of making framework of 2, 3 questions every day. That will take hardly 10, 15, 20 minutes. So make a framework like exactly what I will introduce, what I will write in introduction, what will be the framework of my answer, what points I will cover, what examples that I have read, I will write into that answer. So that framework building will help you in practicing more and more questions, and it will also help you in getting into the habit unconsciously to address a question. So then you will not face challenges like how to structure my answer, what points to write. In addition to that, if you are able to form a group of your friends, if you discuss your answers, if you discuss your framework, that gives you better understanding. You are able to pick more better content from your friends, better examples from them. That way it will answer framework will help you in. Okay, now GS and PAVAD, there is obvious linkage. Paper 2, paper 3, it is linked with GS content. So whatever you are reading in GS, you can use that information if it is relevant, if it is directly related to the topic. Must use that information, especially paper 2, you need to write examples. In paper 1 also, if you are having relevant examination example, and if it is directly related to the topic or question, then you must write it. ARC report I have told about, Sarkaria Commission, NCR, WC, all these things you need to go through. If you are not able to handle, then recognize the issues and go through those issues. Then go through the recommendation if you think that some recommendation is good. For example, in National Commission of Review of Working of Constitution, there was a recommendation like data about President Rule, application of 356, center-state relation. Those things you can pick from there. Similarly, economic survey you need to go through because it provides you a lot of information, a lot of data, a lot of good points that you need to write in your exam. For example, last year there was in economic survey there was a lot of material on PPP, public sector enterprises, recommendation about what exactly we need to do in PPP, what are the problems of PPP. So those points you can directly pick, write in your notes and keep revising it. That's what all you need to write in your, if there is a question regarding to PPP. Then question understanding is a very important point. If you are able to understand the question, if you are able to understand the demand of the question, and if you are able to directly address that demand, then you will be able to get good marks. And it is not a one-day process. You need to, and I am sure most of you are doing that, but you need to do it again and again. You should not get into the negativity that I did understand the question, but I was not able to get marks. Keep doing it, one day it will pay, and it will definitely pay. It is just a matter of time. So you need to address the demand of the question. How you need to address? You need to revise, you need to read the standard book, whatever you are reading, if it is Mohit Bhattacharya or IGNOU, you need to read it again and again, think about it, what exactly it is trying to say. Best thing is, if you are reading Mohit Bhattacharya, read one line and add, discuss, analyze, and think what all you will write. What is this? What is the statement telling about? What is this statement addressing? That way your thinking, you will be able to get into the thinking mode and think better, and your understanding will also improve. And at that same point of time, you also think how current information can be used. What case study that I have written in my notes, I can use it, or what data I can use it, how I can start. So that way you will get into the habit of understanding the question. And do read question again and again when you are in exam, because don't get rushed. Give 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, even in 5 minutes you can write a good answer if you are able to understand the question. So that is a long-term process. You need to evolve over a period of time. I am sure all of you are doing it, but keep doing it. It will definitely help. Dynamic linkage. Dynamic linkage, you need to use information whatever you have read in paper 1, in paper 2 and vice versa. How you do that is again very common, like whatever you are, if you are having conceptual clarity, if you have understood the topic, and if you are making notes and revising it, you will be able to do it. For example, let's say you are writing a RTI. Before that, I need to add one thing here in value addition. I talked about examples, case study, data, and add also High Court, Supreme Court judgment. For example, if there is a Supreme Court judgment on RTI, you need to know that. If there is a Supreme Court judgment on 356 SR Bombay case, you need to mention that in an answer. We all know SR Bombay case, but when the question comes on 356, we are not writing it. Make sure that you are writing it. And there are other major judgments like Fatima case, Fatima Bibi case, on constitutional morality. You need to make a list of all those cases also. So if you are having 15, 20 judgments or cases you are in your notes, then you can reproduce 5, 4, 3 based on the question of the exam. You can add value to your answer. Okay. I was talking about linkage between paper 1 and paper 2. Whenever you need to go to Prasad and Prasad. So whenever you are reading Prasad and Prasad, if some thinker is talking about something, you need to think about how it is related to paper 2. For example, if you are talking about, if you are criticizing government, then you can easily use Peter Drucker or any of his statements. If you are talking about problems of bureaucracy, Indian bureaucracy, then you can use Alvin Toffler. If you are talking about goal displacement, it's Johnny's goal displacement model. If you are reform, then you need to link with some thinker. Similarly, if you are talking about, if there is paper 2, there is conflict resolution, JCM, then you need to link it with MP Foley, how she has talked about conflict resolution. That's all you need to do. If such linkage you are easily recognizing whenever you are reading and writing in your notes, and there are 40, 50 such things, then that will help you in linking paper 1 and paper 2. Similarly, if you are risks, you can relate to anything, corruption, overlapping, heterogeneity, formalism. You can relate to corruption, you can relate to Indian administration easily, everywhere you can relate. Similarly, if you are talking about structural reform or structure of government of India, then you can relate with Fayol's principle, how it is reflecting that. So those things you need to, whenever you are reading, don't just read and go through it. Think about it. If you will think, then you will be able to link paper 1 and paper 2. Similarly, paper 2 examples you need to reflect on paper 1. How in policy formulation or policy implementation, how midday meal is working, how Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan is working. Go through little bit detail about midday meal, how it is implemented, at what level, what things are being done. At field level, who is the functionary, what are their role. At state level, who are the functionary, what are their role. So if you know that information, if you prepare 2 schemes, you can easily relate to policy formulation, policy implementation, gap between policy formulation implementation. What are the problems in Indian policy making? So that way you can link. Understood? Okay. Hidden syllabus. Hidden syllabus, what I did was I went through Sir's class notes. Sir took 4-5 days hidden syllabus class, and I went through GS score material also for new hidden syllabus. But I would suggest that if there is some topic, for example, Jeffrey Vickers was asked last time, so just know about basic things. Don't go into too much detail because you cannot chase UPSC. So just go through basic detail. If there is in hidden syllabus Jeffrey Vickers is written, just know what he has said, what he has done. 5-10 points you write down, and just whenever question comes, just write that. Don't bother about developing understanding, because it is ever developing field. Every year there are coming so many journals, you cannot cover that. So don't try to chase that. What I did was I just took the topic, write 5-10 points. If I am easily able to understand, otherwise just leave it. So that way I did. Your strategy can be different. Approach is similar. You need to revise, you need to make small notes, you need to frame answer, you need to understand the demand of the question and address it. Answer writing. Is there any specific doubt on answer writing? Yes. test series I used to write seriously. Then depending on if I have covered some topic, I need to address one thing, more thing here. Don't ignore static portion. For example, there can be questions on static portion only. Like for example, last year there was a question on delegated legislation. So you need to write a best answer on that question, because most of us are trying to address dynamic thing, trying to address how I would, but ignoring the static portion. If there is a static question, write your best answer. Write best answer. It should include example, it should include case study, it should address all the points. Then you will be able to get very good marks in static portion. And you never know, next year there may be only static question. You need to prepare on that also. And for that, best thing is if you are reading one chapter. If, for example, if you have covered accountability and control, you have read your notes, you have read your books, you have written your case study, example, all that you have done. Just take previous year question paper and write few answers. Depending on amount of time you can devote, make framework on rest of the question. Your topic will be prepared that way. So that way you will be able to handle static portion. Other than that, you can go through test series question paper if you have group of 2-3 friends. Just make framework of all the questions and discuss in 2-3 hours, 4 hours you can easily cover that. But I did not use to write every day. 1 or 2 framework I used to make depending on where I am at my preparation level. If I am able to finish one chapter, then I will make framework of that chapter. I will go through static question, I will go through previous year question paper, or whatever test series I have written so far in 12, 13, 14. If I have that question paper, I will go through that. Yes. Okay. Yes, yes. See, basic framework is introduction, then body, then conclusion. See, this you need to write. Okay. This you need to write in across all papers. It should be positive in connotation. It should be brief. You do not have the liberty to write a big introduction. This is the main part. For example, there was a question that CAG has been treated as appendage to PAC. Okay, critically examined. So that body will depend on what is the question. Okay, so it is asking CAG as a appendage to PAC, critically examined. Okay, you all know what is examine, critically examine, analyze, discuss, all that you know. So you need to write how CAG is appendage to PAC, your reasons, your data, your examples, and how CAG is not only an appendage to PAC and it works on its independent basis also. So based on the demand of the question, your structure will come. So then you need to write how CAG is appendage to PAC, how it has, how CAG is an independent body, it functions without PAC. So that will make your structure. So if you have conceptual clarity, if you have done that again and again on different questions, then you will be able to write. But often what we do is, when we read the question, it is on CAG and PAC. We write something. We write advantages of CAG. CAG is a constitutional body. It was created in this 71 Amendment Act, and it does this, it does that. We are writing what CAG does. That is not the demand of the question. And we all know how CAG is helping PAC, how CAG is acting independently. That way your structure will be formed. It is based on the demand of the question. And moreover, it is only 10 marks question. So you need to hit directly the nail. You cannot wander around and introduce what is CAG, how it is monitoring the purse of the government of India, and big statement, and losing on your time, losing on your word. You just CAG is a constitutional body, it does this. How it is appendage to PAC, how it is not, how it is working. And similarly, how you can value add. If you go to PRS website, CAG is giving a report, how many paragraph PAC is looking into. 15%, 10%, 5%. So it is ineffective. So, and similarly you can add information like various reports that CAG has given on 2G spectrum, on 3G, or whatever the cases are there. So that information also you can add. CAG is acting independent and give your reason if it is critically examined and make your answer. And if you are making framework of this question, what you need to do? Just think CAG is this. I will write 2 lines on CAG or PAC and how they are related, how it is appending, how it is not appending. These are examples I will write. This data I will write, and I will conclude it should function like this or it should not function like this. That's all. That's how you structure your answer. It depends on no, whatever arguments you have. If you have arguments on negative side, write that argument. You are justifying your stand. If you are able to justify your stand, then that's right. Hmm. Whatever arguments you have, if you have a stand, if you think that CAG is only appendage to PAC and you have data, you have example, you have points on that, then write that. But try to balance it in the way like if you have more negative points, write few positive points also. So try to balance that bit. Don't think that I cannot write negative. You can write negative. That is your opinion. And you have arguments to support that. Any other? No, I don't do that. Ah, that is, I cannot comment on that. That is based on, that is your approach. It can be your approach, but I don't used to do that. See, that is the, if you do not, if you are preparing these things, and for, let's say if you have 50 example, and you have 20, 30 case studies, if you have 50 data, if you have 15, 20 high code games, you do not need to add value in all your answers. If you do not have data, you cannot write that. You cannot cook it up, na? Hmm? Yeah, then that's the only option you have left with. If you do not have data, how can you write it? You cannot cook it up. They are more intelligent than us, I believe. So we need to believe that they are more intelligent, they will catch. And that again is against GS paper 4. That will reflect in GS4. Then you get less marks in GS4. That will again be detrimental. Okay, quality versus quantity is a very subjective thing. Your approach should be to write all the answers and write your best quality, because it is a competition. You cannot think that I will write only 10 questions and write in such a quality that I will get full out of full. That is not possible. Your approach should be, I will write as much question I can write and I will write the best quality that I can write. That was my approach. If there is any question that, like last year there was some question about Marxism and something, Stalin or something. I have never read Stalin in PubAd, but there was a question. So I don't know about it. I did write something about Marxism and how Bonaparte. I did write something, but that was irrelevant. I don't know how much marks I got on that. But that's the best you can do in that exam. That test series become important to handle dynamic question. If there is unknown question, you need to write something. Even if it is giving you only 2 marks, 3 marks, that will add into your final total. That will improve your rank. That will improve your service. That have repercussion all along. That will improve your cadre. You don't know how it will help you. So what was my strategy? I never try to leave a question, whether it is GS 1, 2, 3, 4, and best quality that I can write in the exam condition that I used to write. And if you prepare more and more, your quality will automatically improve more and more. If you do framework, if you revise, your understanding will improve and you will be able to answer better. Anything else you want to know? See, all these things are very exhaustive. You do not have the time. But what I used to do is, if I am not able to read anything else, if my mood is not there, I will open IIPA. I will read one article, and if there is some case study, say them. That is value addition only. IIPA and see, more important than how will you add case study in your notes. 3-line, 4-line maximum. For example, according to study by Center for Good Governance, DM has to address or head 42 committees in a month, so he is overburdened. For example, case study done in some group by in Andhra Pradesh on DBT shows that only 4% of people are able to get first time recognition by their fingerprint. So it shows the ineffectiveness of Aadhaar. 3-line, 4 lines, 2-line maximum. For example, judicial appointment in US or UK, how it is different from that, or health study, system, medicine distribution system in Tamil Nadu, e-governance, in everyday newspaper, e-registry. So don't burden yourself. In e-governance, write 2, 3 example, 4 example, 5 examples. Government to government interaction, government to business interaction, citizen ARC report. So those examples, if you are writing an example and keep revising them, that's the, because in initial attempts also I went through ARC, but I was not able to remember anything and I was not able to reproduce. And whenever you are reading anything, make sure that you are reading only those things that you are able to reproduce. Because it is not about knowledge, how much you know. It is about how much you can write, what better answer you can write. So whenever you are reading any newspaper article, anything, think how you can use that information, how it will add value to your answer in GS or essay, how you can use that information. Linkage, if you keep thinking about whenever you are reading, if you will think, if you analyze, linkage will automatically come. Make 50, and moreover, make notes like flowchart. Wilson came, then he came, then Taylor came, then Fayol came. You need to know timeline also. Many of the times you do not know the timeline. Who came after that? What has Waldo talked about? What has Simon talked about? So you need to make a timeline. Then when which journal came, when muddling through came, then this came, then NPM came, then NPS came, then Minnow group happened. If you have that framework, you have made a flow chart, then it will help you understand and relate. And then you will be able to use the name of thinker also. Like whenever NPA comes, you write about Waldo, you write about Golumbowski, goal, anti-goal. But we know that often we do not write about it. Similarly, and then you can link it with paper 2 also, where I will use. Whenever you're going through notes, you are reading some topic and it strikes you that you can use that thinker here, write down. If you are writing answer about RTI, write James Madison, what he has said. It is given in Mohit Bhattacharya. Know about how many countries internationally have RTI. So that data you can write in your RTI answer. What judgment Supreme Court has given, Raj Narayan judgment, or whatever judgment Supreme Court has given. You can use that. If the question is demanding that angle, you can use that judgment. That will add value to it and it will give the impression that you have better understanding of the public administration.